From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine on a Tuesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine. Seen also as of tonight on cleveland.com. We welcome our cleveland.com viewers, and we are here for the next hour. We'll tell you more about that as time goes on. I'm Les Levine. This, of course, is Bud Shaw from WKYC.com. Hello, Bud.
And formerly of cleveland.com.
And formerly of cleveland.com.
I've touched two of the bases.
But on happy terms, you're with us.
Absolutely.
And everywhere else.
Absolutely.
And happy to announce that we have heat in the studio.
Yes. The park I brought will not be needed tonight.
Right.
So.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at c-les.levine@charter.com. We are here for the next hour. We're talking Cleveland sports, Northeast and Ohio sports, and any other sport you want to talk about. Bud, let's start with the Cleveland Browns and what happened over the weekend. Another boring win.
Yeah, you know, listen, that's kind of relevant in a way, because I think up until now, it's like every time they would win a game, we would be talking about, you know, like it was this unbelievable accomplishment, right? Like, wow,
now you see how easy it is.
First time, you know,
yeah.
at
now
home,
you see how easy it is.
It's the first time on the road, and this, you know, this felt kind of like what I expected. I think I picked the Browns to win that game 26-20.
Right.
Or no, I did not. That's was the
what
score.
Actually happened.
But something like 24-17 or whatever. I thought that they were the better team, and Carolina came in here 1-5 on the road, and we all know what it's like to be a team that has trouble winning on the road, because the Browns have been that team for 3 years.
Right. Now, is there disappointment if they don't somehow sneak into the playoffs?
I don't think there's disappointment if they don't, but I think as long as they finish the season strong, and by that I mean win two of three.
Right. And they're winnable games by the way.
And they are. And then I think you look at it and you say, boy, if they had gotten off to a better start, if they maybe had a different coach, however you want to couch it, they look like a team that should, you know, be in the playoff hunt next year. Now, next year would be a disappointment now, based on what we've seen, if they don't go to the playoffs next year.
Yeah, all right, I got to fess up a little bit.
All right.
The notion that Greg Williams would be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns was totally out of the question as far as I'm concerned a month ago. Mm-hmm. Now I'm starting to think, why not? I'm not coming out to say that he should be, but I now see reasons why he has to be in the mix, and sort of high in the mix.
I think he gets an interview, but let's face it, he's 3-2. So is that a big enough sample size for you?
Well, around here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think he ends up looking really good because of who he followed. And that doesn't mean that he hasn't done some good things, but I just think if you have a chance to go out and take, this is an attractive job now. We all talked about it like it was over the last couple of years.
No, it really is.
It really is now.
And here's why. I heard Jason LaCanfora today say that there are 2 openings now, and there could be 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, I agree.
And all of them are teams that have struggled or were good and now are not good anymore. Cleveland is usually, job openings don't come to promising teams. This is a promising team right here.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in this division.
Now, you could argue, I guess, that Green Bay is still a prime job because of Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But certainly, if you look at having a franchise quarterback in place, a franchise pass rusher, a guy who looks like he's going to be a very good running back in this league for a long time, and 60 or 70 million in cap space, and a good GM, that checks a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, Green Bay, you've got Aaron Rodgers for 4 more years. Then what you have is igloos and a lot of cold spells coming in.
Yeah, I mean that had a reputation because we know that's where Dorsey came from. That's where Alonzo Highsmith came from.
Elliott
Wolf. You know, it still has a reputation, I think, of being a pretty good organization, and I suspect that they'll be able to attract a really good head coach. But you're right, some of these other organizations have some serious issues and are probably going to be where the Browns were, maybe not quite as bad, but where the Browns were in previous years in head coaching searches. I
look forward to when Roethlisberger hangs him up and Pittsburgh goes through quarterback hell for a long time.
If they do.
If they do.
You know, that's good organizations find some kind of a succession plan for these kind of things. I think Baltimore thinks that they've done it to some extent with Flacco and Lamar Jackson. But you can certainly...
Let's see how teams see film and all on
Oh, wait a second now. You were ready to crown Greg Williams based on 5 games, and now you're not about...
I'm not sure I was crowning him. I just said he needs to be in the mix. I still don't see how he gets picked. I subscribe to the theory of John Dorsey with that big hip pocket with with some of the legal pad paper sticking out with a bunch of names, and I don't see Greg Williams' name on there.
Well, we've said it before on this show that John Dorsey has yet to hire a head coach in the NFL. This is his first time doing that. And he has, I think, the pick of, I don't want to say the pick, but he certainly has a list of really competent college coaches that he got a chance to look at last year. And he knows the league as well as anybody. Maybe Mike McCarthy is a guy that he's crossed off his list because he knows that he's on a descending arc here in coaching.
We don't know. We assume that they know, all those guys in the front office know him. What they also might know is that maybe he's not as good as he was several years ago.
Yeah, maybe. And I mean, I think Dorsey has relied on guys that he's familiar with, yes, in Wolf, Highsmith. But he also relied on them because he thought that they were very good at what they did. And we don't know what he knows or thinks about Mike McCarthy. We should also look at his Kansas City connections. And Dave Tobe, the special teams coach, is getting a lot of play there. And I love when people do this, though. They go, well, look at Harbaugh. Look at Harbaugh in Baltimore. He was a special teams coach. They pick out like the one guy. It's like when they were looking at quarterbacks, right? Johnny Manziel, well, look at Drew Brees. Well, you know, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Or Tom Brady, they got him in the 6th round.
Yeah, come on, you don't have to draft.
Let's go to the 6th round and we'll pick.
You don't have to draft a quarterback high. Well, just think if the Browns hadn't drafted a quarterback high this last time and waited till the 2nd or 3rd round, where would they be? They'd be right back in the dregs again.
216-575-0403. Bud Shaw with us. We are into our 23rd year doing this television show, and we welcome the viewers from cleveland.com. Let's check out our headlines for the day and see what's going on. Well, what's going on with the Cavaliers is not good. Tristan Thompson will be out some 2 to 4 weeks. You know that means 4 to 6 weeks, don't you?
Usually
based on history.
Yep.
Browns' playoff hopes barely alive, but alive they are. And there may be some trade interest for the Tribe's Encarnacion, which I find hard to believe. J.R. Smith, I found that one hard to believe also. But somehow, some way, those teams may get it done. Let's start things off here on a Tuesday night. Bud Shaw's got an opening comment. Start opening commenting.
All right. Thanks, Les. You know, Baker Mayfield didn't get snippy with fans when he questioned the show of support Sunday at the lakefront. What he said was actually pretty polite, though it was still kind of uncalled for. His job, above all else, is to win. And winning will draw a crowd. It always has in this town, even in cold weather. The Browns were 4-7-1 after that loss to Houston, not 7-4-1. They started the season, I think you remember, 2-6-1. That Houston game was a rout for the most part. Sunday, they beat Carolina and kept their long-shot playoff hopes alive, and good for them. Mayfield's hope is that a bigger crowd awaits December 23rd for the last home game against Cincinnati. Well, there's one good way to make that happen, and it's not for him to come off sounding disappointed in the fan base. It's to not come home from Denver 5-8-1. It's that simple.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw with us. Bud, as you know, I'm the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Cleveland sports. Normally, I don't know in advance what you're going to say in your commentaries, but I accidentally did take a look today. You and Baker are forgetting one thing. The Haslams brought back a coach with a record of 1-31. And that showed total disdain for the Browns fans by doing that. They expected them to buy into it? I don't think so. And even though Mayfield was taken with the first pick in the draft and he's quite exciting and looks like the quarterback of the future, those same proposed fans didn't expect to come out of the woodwork to buy season tickets when they were told that Baker would be sitting out most of the season in deference to Tyrod Taylor. I'm sorry, but I sort of feel like the Delta fraternity members, Bud, who had their answers to their midterm tests given in advance. Unfortunately, they were given the wrong tests. Fortunately, Baker Mayfield has been able to answer correctly just about every test that has been put up in front of him this year.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to kill him for those comments, but, you know.
If he wasn't a good quarterback, you might.
If they had come back from Houston after a big win, they probably would have drawn more people.
Sure, sure.
And again, if they come out and they win in Denver, which we know has been a bit of a problem for this organization over the years, then I think there'll be more people come. But you make a good point. They there was no drumbeat for this season when you brought Hugh Jackson back.
Right, at 1-31.
And believe me, this will all take care of itself. If they're good and he's the quarterback and he stays healthy, they're gonna draw a lot of people next year.
Yeah, and I think you want to be a season ticket sales person next year.
Sure.
I would believe. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine with new content posted each and every day. We asked a question today about Corey Kluber. We'll get some response a little bit later. More Sports and Les Levine continues in a moment.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to auth-ctoke-auth. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I had bad credit, so I wasn't able to get a bank account or a credit card.
My life is so busy, I don't have time to be standing in line to cash a check.
That's why we created the NetsBand Prepaid MasterCard. It puts you in control of managing your money.
I can get my money up to 2 days earlier than everybody else. I don't have to wait till the end of the week to get paid.
Order now at no cost and get paid up to 2 days faster.
Call 1-800-644-0772.
Call now and you can choose your card design.
Take a look at today's birthdays. Today is December 11th. This is not a great birthday date in history.
Don't tell those guys that.
Yeah, yeah, you're the worst on a bad day. Bill Nicholson, born on this day. Del Schaffner, who's a pretty good football player. Teriyaki, who I think you can make it in Kitchen's kitchen. Willie McGinnis, former Cleveland Browns. Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Malcolm Brogdon, all born on the 11th. There's some days we have all kinds of Hall of Famers. This is not one of those.
Well,
days.
I'll let you tell McGinnis that it's a bad birthday day. I'll take care of telling Teriyaki.
No, thank you. I'm just happy to be here. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Let's go to Pepper Pike. We'll start things off with BP. Hello, BP.
Hey, Les, and Bud, how you guys doing?
What's
doing
up,
well.
BP?
Great. Congratulations on the new format. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
This will now go worldwide, so I believe it's the World Wide Web.
There you go.
So welcome to the 21st century, Les.
Better late than never.
You know, this is sort of like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. My son told me 15 years ago that this was the future. I said, well, I have to know how to turn that darn thing on, first of all. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. But, no, this is great, and, you know, I do travel like a lot of your listeners do, and, you know, so if you're out of town or whatever.
Okay,
you
can catch us anywhere. That'll be great.
You got it, buddy. So this will be great for you guys, and great for the city of Cleveland as well, and all the Cleveland fans all over the world. But I did want to mention, you know, last night I stayed up late and I watched the LeBron Dwayne Wade Love Fest, and it was fairly entertaining at the end of the game. You know, it was a close game, went down the wire. Then it was insane the way the cameras were right on top of LeBron and Dwayne Wade. You could hear their entire conversation.
Don't leave me in suspense. Who won it?
You didn't look?
LeBron won the game at the end, of course. Dwayne Wade cannot shoot a three, and he, of course, missed a three-pointer at the end. So the Lakers won by 3. But it really was entertaining, even though I'm finally getting over my, you know, soreness at LeBron leaving.
Are you starting to think that the Lakers are going to get to the finals in the West? Because nobody gave them much of a shot. Are you starting to think it's inevitable?
You know, it's funny. It's been like a war of attrition, and you know, the Rockets are terrible this year, and the Minnesota Timberwolves have been disbanded, and you know, a lot of basically it seems like there's Golden State, there's the Lakers, maybe Oklahoma City. You know, the San Antonio Spurs are like a 500 team now, so.
Yeah.
It's actually, you know, LeBron, leave it to LeBron. You know, I mean, if Paul George had signed with the Lakers, they would be a formidable opponent to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I saw a story
LeBron,
today that suggested the Lakers were pursuing John Wall.
Wow.
You know, we saw John Wall here in Cleveland the other night.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah,
He didn't score,
That
did
was
he?
a John Wall imposter, I think, in Cleveland the other night.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have hit the rim on better than he did on one of those shots. I think he almost broke the backboard.
BP, I've met you. You couldn't have done that.
I'm going to be watching my kid play varsity basketball tonight. So,
What school?
Orange High School.
Excellent. Good luck. Is he starting?
So, yeah, he's a starting shooting guard. So,
Excellent. Good luck to him.
yeah, he averages over double figures, so he's pretty good. So,
What year?
junior.
Okay. Does he have his name on the back of his shirt like BP?
No, he's just got number 10 on his back.
Very good. All right. Wish him luck. Thanks. Thanks, BP. Good
Thanks,
to talk
guys,
to you.
and great luck with the format.
Thank you. 216-575-0403.
Yeah, you know, John Wall is the definition of that word, that mercurial. When you call somebody mercurial,
Right.
really it means they're a dog half the time and you don't know when it's going to happen. That
it does
display the
happen.
other night was, I mean,
How do
Colin
you-
Sexton was obviously up for the game. He wanted to match up with one of the high-scoring, really good point guards in the league, and
Right.
Wall looked like he had no interest in that game.
All right, the Browns ready to go Saturday night against the Denver Broncos after practice today. Greg Williams talked about that game and his team.
Today it was off the chart.
Picking up a couple miles per hour here.
Yeah,
as the
well,
season-
you'd love this. And the first thought of my mind was young arm, no tired. You know, as we get older, it gets, you know, you got to have more rest in between, you know, throwing them. And then from a, you know, Major League Baseball, you know, all the things you do in baseball and stuff, you know, and giving those guys rest. You know, he had a live day on Sunday, but he came back today, and it looked like it was even more live today. And I thought, the first thing I thought was, young.
Blessing and a curse, though, because he sees tight windows and he knows that he can.
You know,
get it
I would
there,
say
but-
this is I always think of it in a positive way, because once you start going down that other road is when things start to multiply, domino effect, and everything. You know, he's extremely accurate. He's a really good decision maker, and he learns from everything. And so the fact that he's as accurate as he is never going to worry about him forcing the ball into a tight window. He threw some, you know, and the good quarterbacks. Some of the times that some of us may judge a throw that, wow, that was not a very good throw. Why? Because it was on his back shoulder. Well, it was on his back shoulder because that's the way the guy, you know, Drew Brees and some of those guys, Joe Montana, you know, Warren Moon, Peyton Manning, all the other guys that I've been with or gone against, you know, will throw the guy open. And he's doing that. And that's a natural thing. That's not something that can be overly taught at this level. If we have to spend a lot of time trying to teach that at this level, you'll probably never, ever get it.
Where's the Greg Williams from Hard Knocks? I don't know. Take a look at the guy feeling dangerous this year. It's catching on. Completions, 242 out of 376, 2,877 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, 3 of them against Houston a week and a half ago. How about this? Third player in NFL history to have a passing touchdown in each of his first 10 games. He came in, of course, in 10 games ago to replace Tyrod Taylor. Kurt Warner and Brad Johnson.
Yeah, if I could imitate Browns fans reading that, Kurt Warner and Brad Johnson. Oh, okay, well.
Who's Brad Johnson?
Yeah, well, maybe it's not that special. No, I thought that he had his best game on Sunday, and I wrote it because if you just looked at the yardage afterwards, 238 yards, you wouldn't have been that impressed.
Right.
It looked like one of those, like a dink and dunk game, didn't it? 18 for 22 for 238.
Right.
But we know it was anything but that.
No, it wasn't a dink
He
and
made
dunk.
3 of the best throws I've seen any quarterback make this year.
I hate to bring up something bad that I've noticed, but have you noticed? You see that he's throwing off his back foot sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I notice it more with Patrick Mahomes than I do.
Yeah.
You know,
but he gets more velocity on it than
this
Baker
guy.
does.
You know, this guy's got. You know, we thought he had a pretty good arm coming here.
Right.
We thought he was a guy who liked to run, get out of the pocket and run. He's not that. He's not that guy. He does not look to run even when the field is open in front of him.
Yeah. And Greg Williams talked about it. He says, here we are mid-December, and he's been throwing every day since training camp. He's throwing every bit as hard as he has all year.
Yeah, the 66-yarder or whatever it was to open the game should have gone for a touchdown, but Perriman slips.
Right.
The 51-yarder, I think it was, or 51-yarder to Jarvis Landry was a fantastic throw. And then the third one that I thought was terrific was, you know, 2nd and 11 from your own 2 when the Panthers need to get the ball back.
Right.
And he rolls into. Didn't you think it odd that they didn't run a flea flicker there, Les? That was my Hugh Jackson impersonation. But, you know, so he rolls right. He's 5 yards deep in his end zone, and he's rolling to his right and throws that ball perfectly to Perriman on the sideline. They pick up 15 yards.
Right, and you know what I'm thinking while he's rolling in the end zone? Get out of there before there's a holding penalty, which is a safety.
Sure.
And
yeah.
He got out plenty of time.
Yeah, he's got the thing that last year when people would say, well, how can you judge Kaiser? How can you judge Deshaun Kaiser? He's a rookie. A lot of rookies have tough times. You could judge him because he didn't have any sense of where he was in the pocket.
Right.
And this guy did immediately from the first mini camp on.
Right.
And that's the biggest difference in this league.
And he's still going to his third option, or at least looking at his third option.
Yeah, so many.
And you can see him do that.
Absolutely. So many rookies come into the league, and they have that, you know, they know there's that clock going off in their head that they got to get rid of the ball. They make one read, and they either run or they get sacked or they throw it somewhere. He looks all over the place, steps up, moves right, moves left, does whatever he has to do, keeps the whole field available to him most of the time.
I've got a friend who lives in Chicago, who watches every Bears game and all, and he says that's the rap on Mitchell Trubisky. He'll look at the first one and then run.
Yeah,
almost
all you
no
have to do
what.
is watch, you know, 2 quarters of game film of both guys, and you see the big difference.
Right. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. Jonathan Peterlin will join us tomorrow night. And Anthony Lima on Thursday. Dan Lobby, also from cleveland.com, will join us. That'll be on Thursday night. This Saturday night, Northfield Park features its annual Santa Sack Fan Appreciation Night. Enter for your chance to win cash and gift cards, event tickets, electronics, and more. Play Santa's Spin and Win, a snowball toss, and the Ohio Lottery's high-low game for a chance to win even more prizes. It's free admission, free parking every day. That's at Northfield Park. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment.
Transform your ugly, damp basement with the beautiful Nature Stone floor. Authentic Nature Stone brand flooring is durable, unaffected by water, and inhibits the growth of mold and mildew. No other floor covering outperforms Nature Stone. For a limited time, when you buy more, you save more. Up to 30, 40, or even 50% off on a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. That's right, save up to 50% on material and up to 50% on installation. Call or go to naturestone.com today. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
I decided to go to Tri-C because it was easy to commute to. I was able to start Kent State as a junior. All my credits from Tri-C transferred to Kent State. I will be able to earn my bachelor's degree in 4 years. I saved a lot of money starting at Tri-C. My name is Stephanie Bain, and I earned my first degree at Cuyahoga Community College.
But it's time for a How Come Quickie. How come when your mail is delivered, the bills come right on time, but those checks often do not?
That is really true, Les.
Well, that makes it a How Come Quickie. You don't have to lie about it. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. We're on from 6 until 7. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Berea. We'll say hi to Rich. Rich, good evening.
Good evening, Les and Bud.
Good evening.
What's up, Rich?
Hey, it's good to see you guys again. It's a wonderful thing you're doing here, Les. I'll tell you what, you really are coming of age. You know, you're still looking good, and Bud, you're as handsome as ever.
There you go. I miss you, Rich.
Yeah, I figured you would, buddy.
What'd you do?
I miss you guys too.
Oh, you're catching us on cleveland.com?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I moved to Berea and in July, and I didn't get a chance to see you guys. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I'm really glad that
welcome
you
back.
guys got the new format. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
What's on your mind?
And so what I want to talk about here is, so now that we got a quarterback with this football team of ours, what do you think the chances are of Greg Williams staying as coach? Because I'll tell you what, this guy Freddie Kitchens has designed an offense around Baker, and it's really working.
Yeah, you know, the unusual thing about all this is that Kitchens is a Todd Haley disciple.
Right.
You know, and not that he had to believe everything that Haley believed, but you certainly would think that they agreed on some of the same concepts, and it looks like an entirely different offense, and it's not. But I think what Kitchens did that was smart was he went to Mayfield and said, you know, listen, what are you comfortable with? What do you like? What play? And not just Mayfield, but Landry and other players. And got a sense of what these guys feel comfortable with. As to me, it looked like Haley was just trying to force Mayfield and whoever else was going to be out there. It didn't matter to him whether it was Tyrod Taylor or Mayfield. He thought he could run the same offense. So I've been very impressed with him.
You think Todd Haley gets an offensive coordinator job this year? John DeFilippo was fired today.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, I don't know. I assume that with 6 or 7 or 8 possible jobs open, that he'll end up somewhere.
Yeah, either that or what happened here tainted him so badly they may want to take off a year from his coaching.
I mean, I think Greg Williams has done a fine job. I just think if you've got a lot of candidates to pick from, he's probably not going to be your top guy. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think Dorsey has done a remarkable job with this team in just 1 year.
Well, I think we all, you know, going 3-2 based on what the Browns have done, everybody's got to like it. But I'm not sure how real the drumbeat is to have him be the head coach.
Yeah, you know, I think Dorsey's done a great job too. I know there's a narrative out there now that everything can get blamed on Hugh Jackson, right? He played Tyrod Taylor, didn't give Baker Mayfield much of a chance of competing. But Dorsey is the guy who traded a 3rd-round pick for Tyrod Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't want him to play, why would he have done that? They would have been fine with a #1 overall pick in Drew Stanton. But so, to me, I think it was an organizational decision not to rush Mayfield, to let Taylor start. Taylor had played for a team the previous year that went to the playoffs. So I'm a little reluctant to put everything on Hugh Jackson. I think they've made a bigger step in the Freddie Kitchens for Todd Haley change than they have anywhere else, or at least as big.
Rich, anything else?
No, just say, hey, you'll be hearing from me, guys. And like I said, you're both looking good. Keep up the good work.
Great talking to you. Thanks for joining us. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Greg Williams talked more today out in Berea, where Rich is living now. And he talked about his team since he's taken over.
A feeling of improvement, of understanding about how good we can be, and the buy-in approach of they understand that it's about us more than the opponent, and don't get wrapped up in the opponent so much that we don't focus on us enough. I didn't say me, you know, as an individual, because sometimes there are certain players who get awful focused about themselves, okay, and you got to get them to buy into us. And we've got good leadership behind the scenes that buys in to any other people that wants to start wandering off into individualism. No, they've bought into the us part of it, and that's been good.
Wow. Here you go. When Hugh and Haley were here, 2-5-1 versus 3-2 under Williams and Kitchens. 21 points a game, 21.1 for Hugh's Family Feud here, and 24.6 for the team of Williams and Kitchens. Sounds like a law firm. Yards per game, 342.4 versus 386. That's 44 yards difference per game. Passing yardage 215 versus 277, and run yardage 127 versus 108.
You know, you have a crack staff back there.
Yes, I do.
And with the other stat I would love for him to see, to show us, is what's the difference defensively since Greg Williams has become the head coach? I don't think it's as glowing.
Okay, we'll see if we can get.
I think the Browns, if I read it correctly, Les, have been outscored by 40 points over the season, which surprises me. But maybe some big losses like Kansas City and Houston.
That'll do it. And they don't have big wins to overcome that.
But I have, I've had a couple people email me, and they think that this is a worse defense since Greg Williams stepped away to be head coach.
With spending too much time.
That's the inference, but let's face it. It may have coincided with losing Schobert, with with Denzel Ward going out of the lineup. So there's other mitigating factors.
All right, one line is open if you'd like to get in. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can follow us on Facebook. We'll have some Facebook responses a little bit later. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine with new content posted each and every day. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment. Jonathan Peterlin tomorrow, Anthony Lima, Dan Lobby. That'll be on Thursday, right here on More Sports and Les Levine.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-723-9758.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
It takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling to bring the heat when things get chilly. Find us at 440-449-HEAT.
Let's take a look at this date in sports history. Back in December 11th, 1982, Dan Fouts throws for 444 yards and 5 touchdowns. San Diego beats San Francisco 41-37. Joe Montana throws for 366, his 5th straight game with 300 or more passing yards. That's in a league that didn't throw, it wasn't a circus like it is right now.
I was in San Diego covering that team at the time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Fouts was pretty good.
Yeah. He also had Chuck Muncie, John Jefferson, Kellen Winslow Sr. He had
that's going way back.
Talent. That's going way, way back.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Let's take a look at our Facebook question. Oh, by the way, the answer to your question was in 8 games, the Browns gave up 210 points. That's 66. That's 26.3 points a game, and since Greg Williams, 122 points, which is 24.4.
So
close.
Point-wise hasn't really changed a whole lot. Yeah.
Not that much. So let's take a look at what people say. The question of the week, baseball question, the question of the day. What would you like the Indians to do regarding Corey Kluber? Evan Knobloch, clone him. Then you could trade him and still have him. Dan Macy, nothing. Don't trade him. Stop being cheap. Bring back Brantley. Dennis Davis, since they seem bent on trading him, my preference would be to a National League team. In return, I want a top outfield prospect, a good bullpen arm, and an experienced position player. Jim Nagley, prefer not to trade, but would like to trade Encarnacion, but not Yandy Diaz in the deal. Wayne Richard Lyons, how many World Series have they won with him? Now is the best time to trade. Dodgers supposedly could offer their top outfield prospect. Strike now. Time to find some outfielders and maybe some bullpen help along the way via a trade. Keep Bauer. Tom Tokar. Keep trying your best to get into the playoffs and World Series every year, and keep Kluber. I never liked that argument that, well, how many World Series did they win with him? You get close. How much closer are they to winning it or getting there without him?
Yeah, I think from what I hear, they see Kluber as a guy who can bring back the biggest return.
Right.
And Bauer can't for various reasons. Yeah, which is the fact that he wants to go on all these one-year deals.
One name I'm hearing is Alex Verdugo, can play all 3 outfield positions, 22 years old. And there you see the average in 329 in 10 homers and 44 RBIs. That's in AAA last season. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Mary, who's in Talmadge, Ohio. Mary, good evening. Bud Shaw with us.
Yes. Hi, Les. Hi, Bud.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Excellent format right now. Excellent.
Thank you.
Just have a few thoughts. One of them is I really think Greg Williams deserves a shot at becoming head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He definitely should be on the short list. What he's done and come in, he's got the right rapport with the players.
Would it upset you if they don't? Would it upset you if they don't pick him?
A little bit, I guess so. Yeah, because he was on the wings and he had to watch Hugh Jackson do his thing or not do his thing, and I think he certainly waited his turn. Now, I'll be upset. I don't think Mike McCarthy is a good fit for Cleveland. I don't. I also believe that talking about college coaches, we had a disaster when Chip Kelly came from Oregon and went to Philly. It was a disaster. So just because they're good in the college levels, it does not mean they're good now.
And I think Bud feels the same way as I do. I think at this point we trust Dorsey, right? Or I do.
Yeah, but I still think that Dorsey's going to trust his resume and his body of work in the NFL and the associations he's made there. I agree.
Yeah, now did Dorsey come from Kansas City? Is that where he was before that? I knew that. Okay.
Yeah, he came from Kansas City, but he sort of came in on Andy Reid's coattails. It wasn't the other way. Okay. He didn't hire Andy Reid.
Right, and he started in
Green Bay, and he's never hired a coach on his own. And I just think that given all of that, I think there are college coaches that are probably capable of walking in and being great, but I think it is more of a risk than to get somebody in here who knows the league and knows what kind of coaching staff he should put together to win in this league.
I just find it hard to believe that out of all the research or the gut feelings that Dorsey's had, that all of a sudden he's going to decide can that stuff and Greg Williams is my guy. I just find it hard to believe.
I don't think he will either. Yeah. I think he'll be methodical about it. But I'm just saying my opinion is he should at least put Greg Williams on the short list.
I'll tell you what, whatever the reason, Sundays are a lot more fun these days.
That's true. That's true.
Mary, thanks so much.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. We're here till 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, now normally I go to Sokolowski's on Thursdays, which I will do again this week, but I'm going to go tomorrow because our friend Dan Coughlin has a book signing at lunchtime at Sokolowski's University Inn.
That's a good reason to go.
That is a good reason to go. Just buy the book and have some Salisbury steak.
Some people don't appreciate the fact that Dan's a really talented writer too. Like, some people just see him, they think, oh, the TV guy.
Yeah.
He's just
no, he's a good writer.
He's very good at what he does.
No question about it. And Sokolowski's are good food people, so that,
yes,
that works
there
out.
you go. It's a good
Sokolowski's
combination.
University Inn, they're the winners of the James Beard Foundation Award. Only five restaurants in the country make it each and every year. I believe they're the only one. Jonathan Sawyer, I think, made it as a chef, but I think that Sokolowski's is the only James Beard Foundation Award winner. And even if they're one of two, that's not a bad deal either. We'll take a break. We'll come on back in a moment. Bud Shaw with us. You're watching More Sports and Les Levine.
Transform your ugly, damp basement with the beautiful Nature Stone floor. Authentic Nature Stone brand flooring is durable, unaffected by water, and inhibits the growth of mold and mildew. No other floor covering outperforms Nature Stone. For a limited time, when you buy more, you save more. Up to 30, 40, or even 50% off on a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. That's right, save up to 50% on material and up to 50% on installation. Call or go to naturestone.com today. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
All right, let's check out this date in Les Levine history. December 11th, that was way back in 1993. In Chicago to do a Cleveland State game on TV, Les realizes he didn't pack a sport coat. He went to a store on Michigan Avenue to buy one. When he got home the next day, he realized he had already bought the exact same coat in the vast closet space of More Sports and Les Levine.
Well, then you're quite the clothes horse, aren't you?
I think I have 4 sport jackets, and
now we know that 2 of them look exactly alike.
And, however, look at the date it was, 1993.
And you still have that one, yeah, of course.
Brand new, brand new. Let's go to the phones. George is standing by. Hello, George.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thanks for calling, I think. We'll decide soon.
A little while, a few minutes ago before the break, you guys were talking about the Browns and about the head coaching situation going forward. And first of all, I'd like to agree with you from the standpoint that it is kind of fun watching them play anymore because at least they're competitive, and on a week-to-week basis.
I don't feel like it's torture to have to be ready at 1 o'clock to watch the game.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I give them a good chance of putting on a competitive performance, depending on who they're playing, with the exception of a handful of teams around the National Football League. But I think with the majority of the teams anymore, they can hold their own. The one comment that I would like to make, though, in terms of the head coaching position, is I'm hoping that Jimmy Haslam butts out. In my opinion, he has had a history, and especially in the last 3 or 4 years, I think some of the decisions that were made from the front office position were too much input from Haslam. It just seems like, he waited too long to get rid of Jackson. He let Jackson, going into the season, I thought he should have got rid of Jackson at the end of last year and made the decision. Going back to some of the quarterback controversies that we've had, I think he had a little bit too much input. So you know, he might be a great owner or whatever, but and a great businessman, but you know what? He's not a football guy.
No, and his wife has been brought into the mix too, and you know, maybe looking for PR purposes, but for PR, bringing Hugh Jackson back was not a good PR move, let alone a good football move.
I felt like a bobblehead here. I was shaking my head so much during George's call. I agree with everything he said, and I had that conversation with not a one-on-one. It was part of the press conference after the last year's finale in Pittsburgh, where I asked Haslam, like, why are you staying with a coach that's 1/3? You know, you really think this is your playoff coach? And he said, I absolutely do. Well, that's reason for him to stay out of it. And
Johnny Manziel.
And I think the candidate list will be better if people think that Dorsey is the guy that they will answer to, and they're not going to have an owner, you know, trying to referee any difference of opinion between.
I'm hearing all these national guys say that Cleveland is the #1 or #2 job opening as far as what's available out there, and the only real negative is the ownership situation.
Well,
so
you know,
if you erase that, you got a different story here.
I think they've positioned themselves. I think they've positioned themselves. Cleveland's positioned themselves right now to at least attract a top shelf head coach that might be available, simply because of the fact that they have, in my opinion, vastly improved this season. And going forward, if they get a guy in here that may be a top-level NFL coach, they can maybe take the next step. But I'm not saying that. I think Dorsey is the guy that should be calling the shots. He's a football guy.
Here's the other thing, George, that you take a look at this, and Cleveland is the team that's on of the available coaching positions. They seem to be the one on the rise. I can't think of any of the others that you'd say are on the rise. The others are on the downside, aren't they?
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying to think of. I
maybe
mean,
Green Bay. While
it
Rodgers
depends.
is
Like
still there.
if Baltimore is looking for a head coach, I don't know that they'd be on the rise, but I think they're still a pretty good organization.
Right.
Cincinnati clearly isn't if they decide to make a move there.
All right, George, we got to move on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. And they've got racing throughout the week, open for simulcast action at noon every day, all 7 days, for tracks, harness, and thoroughbred tracks from all over the world. And right now, it's the annual Santa Sac Fan Appreciation Night. That's this Saturday at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment. You're watching More Sports and Les Levine.
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Introducing LizardCam, the new micro camera that goes anywhere you can't see. With an extra long flexible cable, you can inspect anywhere. The powerful light illuminates even the darkest areas behind your walls. It comes with a hook tip so you can retrieve fallen jewelry down a sink. Plus, it's waterproof, so unclog drains like a pro. Add the mirror tip to find critter hideouts behind the fridge, or the magnetic tip so you can grab loose nuts and bolts that are impossible to reach. Get yours today.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I decided to go to Tri-C because it was easy to commute to. I was able to start Kent State as a junior. All my credits from Tri-C transferred to Kent State. I will be able to earn my bachelor's degree in 4 years. I saved a lot of money starting at Tri-C. My name is Stephanie Bain, and I earned my first degree at Cuyahoga Community College.
Tomorrow night, Jonathan Peterlin, 92.3 The Fan, will join us. You see us from 6 until 7. And Thursday, Anthony Lima from 92.3 The Fan will be here, as well as Dan Lobby from cleveland.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine, with new content posted each and every day. Cavaliers dealt a blow last night, although it could have been worse. Did you see it?
I did.
Tristan Thompson looked. Yeah. They say it's 2 to 4 weeks, but when it happened, it looked like 2 to 4 broken bones in the ankle. Let's see what Tristan Thompson has done for the Cavaliers. Minutes per game, 30, 12 points a game, and almost 12 rebounds. How about that? 12 and 12. That's pretty good. 5 offensive rebounds a game. Tristan Thompson. He's been the best player on the Cavaliers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think. Joe B. in Westlake says, how come if the Browns offensive coordinator continues to succeed, but we don't re-sign the coordinator, we'll have everything except the kitchen's ink? On behalf of...
I mean, that could have easily been a how come question.
It could have been. I should have held on to that, yeah.
Because it starts out how come, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Wouldn't have to change anything.
Yeah.
Tim and Norton, best wishes on your new venue. Who do you think will be traded, Kluber or Bauer? I'm guessing they'd rather move Bauer. I don't know. There's upsides to both and downsides to both.
Well, I really, I think if they felt they could get great return on Bauer,
right,
they would do it. But I think they
He's
feel
only
like,
signed 2 years, and he wants 1 year at a time.
You just know how predictable and steady. He's more than steady. Corey Kluber has been.
Yeah.
Everybody.
The question is, has he lost some of it?
The Indians talk about this amazing work ethic, and they want every young pitcher to watch what he does. Not that Bauer doesn't have it, but Bauer has a very unconventional work ethic that probably a lot of other
Bauer
players,
wants everybody to watch Bauer.
That a lot of other players couldn't pull off. So I think Kluber is the guy. He's 32 years old, and he could bring back a lot in return. I think that's what they're looking at.
Let's go to Chuck, who's in Solon. Chuck, good evening.
Good evening, guys. I remember when you went to cleveland.com, Bud, and I called in and asked you. I'm not a millennial, and I'm not really electronically gifted. So what does it mean now that you're not going to do any bylines at all for the Plain Dealer? Or, I mean, you're not writing any more sports for anybody in town?
Well, no, I am. Yeah, Les is kind enough to introduce me all the time as WKYC. So I'm writing twice a week for WKYC.com, and I'm doing 2 TV appearances a week for them. One with Jim Donovan on Monday night, and one.
Right. Well, I have seen you there, but
I'm also writing for the website.
At all with,
I'm writing for the website every Wednesday and Friday.
What else is on your mind, Chuck?
Okay. You guys were talking about the game on Sunday. I got to tell you, one of you said that you thought it was the best throw of the year. I got to believe that was one of the best throws I've ever seen a Browns player. I mean, when you look at between the throw from Baker and the concentration of Landry, because he had a guy step for step with him, and he had a guy cross just in front of him, just before, for him to make the catch and concentrate, I thought that was every bit as good a play as I've ever seen a two Cleveland Browns
Chuck,
players.
You've been following the Browns for a couple of years, right?
Right.
More than a couple of years. Somebody made a statement to me today, and when I heard it, I said, "Hold on, you're jumping the gun here." He said that already in his mind that Baker Mayfield is the 5th best quarterback the Browns have ever had.
What?
Well, think about it. He went with Otto Graham, Frank Ryan, not in order, but Frank Ryan, Brian Sipe, and Bernie Kosar. Who would you, if you brought Mayfield in, who are you leaving out?
I don't know, but the guy's played 8 games in his career.
Tell me who you're leaving out if you want to. Who's the 5th? Who's number 5 in that group? This is Mount Rushmore. This is Mount Rushmore with 5 faces on it.
Well, there's Cleveland has been known more in the course of their Browns history for running backs, I think, than really great quarterbacks
and left tackles.
I mean, Graham was at the top of the mountain.
Right.
Brian had a few really good years.
He's MVP of the league.
Kosar was terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Derek
I'm not jumping the gun.
Derek Anderson had one good year.
I'm not sending
I had one good year. Well,
Baker to the Hall of Fame. But I just think that throw, it was a 50-yard throw, a laser. It was very Rodgers-esque.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
Great call.
Are you talking about the one with 3 guys around him in the end zone?
Well, he had one guy on him, and one guy he had a safety coming to cover him at the last minute.
No, that was very Aaron Rodgers-like. Good call.
It almost looked like he threw it, and it made a quick right turn when it needed to.
Because it also wasn't thrown from the pocket. He had to move left.
Right.
And then he had to move left and up, and that's when he saw him streaking. And it was an incredible throw, and you're probably right in that I'm not giving Landry as much credit or enough credit for the catch.
Chuck, thanks. I got to move on. Take one final call here. Let's go to the phones. Hello, go ahead. You're on the air. John, go ahead.
Okay. Hey. Hi, Les. Hi, Bud.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Has John Dorsey made a mistake so far? And if he did, what do you guys think he's made a mistake?
Well, I guess you would say giving up a third-rounder for Tyrod Taylor now doesn't look like the best idea, and maybe Austin Corbett. Right? Those would be the.
But so many wins over losses.
Yeah, but certainly I wouldn't. I mean, those because you asked me to. Those are kind of like my quibbles, I guess.
I think the upside of the guys that have done so well outweigh the 2 you're talking about on the downside. So far. I mean, what are you trying to say? Trust him for the head coach? You there? John's gone.
I think we lost John.
I think what he's saying, let's go ahead and trust him. If that's all the mistakes,
well, I think the
Haslam's
have come out, and I don't know if they've stated it flatly, but I think they have let people know that Dorsey is steering this search. And I think that's all you ask. An owner's going to have final say in who it is because the guy's going to represent his franchise. But I think unless it's some off-the-wall pick that makes the Haslams go, who? What? You know, they're going to go along with Dorsey's recommendation on this.
I think that 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, if somebody said that you'd have people actually talking about Greg Williams as your head coach, you'd have to say that that's crazy. It's not crazy to talk about it. I wouldn't do it, but it's not crazy to have it in the
outside the building, I think most people who thought there would be a coaching change in season thought Todd Haley was going to be the interim guy.
Right.
Inside the building, we know now that Dorsey and Haslam did not appreciate the relationship between the offensive coordinator and head coach.
Quickly, in 5 seconds, pick a winner Saturday night, Browns and Broncos.
I think the Browns get it done. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think in a place that's historically tough to win, they're going to win.
We don't have time to come up with my prediction for that. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Nice.
With Jonathan Peterlin. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.